From Darling Stadium in Hampton, WHCS Cable Channel 46 presents Group AAA Peninsula Football. The Hampton Crabbers hosting the Menchville Monarchs. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We are here at Darling Stadium for the final regular season game of the year between the Hampton Crabbers at 8-1 and the Menchville Monarchs at 2-6. And Bob, this game doesn't look to be very important. When the season began, this game probably wasn't circled by anybody, but boy, is this game important to Hampton.
Well, it really is, because Hampton's got to win. They've got to play every game like it's a playoff situation, because if they don't win, they don't play next week. And they could end up being the top seed in the district with a lot of things happening. But this game is very, very important, and they cannot afford to take a Menchville team light. They did not they practiced for 2 weeks, have not played anybody in 2 weeks, so they could be a little rusty. So, you know, you look at this Menchville team. No, they won't be rusty. Well, they may be.
They could be.
Yeah, they could be, but again, I don't think so either. But the scenario is, be prepared.
Absolutely.
Don't take any team in the district too lightly, and I think that's what Mike does with his kids.
Well, that's what I was teasing with you, because you know the coaches have been on these kids, even if they didn't even have to, because these kids know that they don't win, their season's over with, and they don't want to be the first team in many, many moons not to go to postseason.
Oh, and that's pressure on itself, without anybody saying anything to the kids, that they know, hey, if we don't go, man, look, you know, it's been 22 years since the team went to the playoffs with the Crabbers, so. You know, but I look at the Menchville team. He's got a young team. As the interview, we talked with him, and he said, you know, offensive, defensive line are very, very young, but he's got some good athletes. They're not a team without good athletes. That's a big school. Menchville is huge. So there's a lot of kids walking around that hall that could be potential good ball players, and I think Bob Pierce will get them out.
I think he will, and you know, again, they're in a kind of rebuilding year. Of course, the Crabbers coming off of the terrific career that Ronald Curry had, and Blizzard and Hollier and all the kids that graduated. You know, and getting back to the pressure on the Hampton teams, it's really not fair, because these kids, you know, in high school you just can't help graduation. You can't draft players. You can't bring them in. So you know, you're going to have times when your talent level is not as big as it was or as high as it was the year before. But this Hampton team has stepped it up. They lost that first game to Heritage, and they have dedicated themselves to not losing again.
And I don't expect them to lose again, because they're the kind of team that will learn from mistakes that they made. And I talked with Mike earlier, and I said, Mike, you guys always peak at the right time. And I think that's what happens with Hampton. They're going to be ready for the postseason plays, you know, because they always are ready, let's face it.
And speaking of Mike, you had a chance a little earlier to talk to head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, Mike, tonight is definitely football weather, temperature-wise. A little bit of wind is not too bad, but I have watched you guys play all year, and you guys, every year, get better and better and better. How do you do that?
Well, you know, maybe we start behind some of them. We don't practice out of season. You know, and we should get better. I mean, you know, if you don't get better every day, there's something wrong. I just hope we've gotten better these last 2 weeks. You know, we had the week off, and that's a killer. We've been practicing 9 days now. I mean, you know, we practiced 5 full days last week, and 3 days this week, and then the 4th day we were going to take it a little easier, and ended up having to do some things because of the rain on Tuesday that slowed us down. So we've had a lot of practice and no games. So, you know, we may be rested. I don't know. I hope not. I hope we've gotten a little better.
Well, you guys always seem to get better, but I'm so impressed with your defense this year. You've got some people on that defense, Mann and Jarrett and Southern and Gunter and Keith Mann, Raymond Mann.
Mann and Mann, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these kids have really got together and have really formed a real solid defensive unit for you.
Well, I think probably the defense has done really well, but people fail to realize the defense was probably pretty good the last couple of years. Actually, the last 3 years. The difference was that every time you looked up, they had to go back on the field. You know, Ronald was scoring so fast for the guys, and Ahmad Hawkins and those guys, and Darrell Smith. We were getting in the end zone so quickly that you turn back around, you'd be back on defense. So you know, at least now this offense, what little bit we move it consumes a little bit of the clock, and defense not on the field. So I think it's a big factor that a lot of people didn't realize. We were scoring a lot of points, but we were giving the people the ball a lot. You know, I mean, we scoring 2 plays, they'd have the ball back, and then we'd have to play defense.
And a lot of people don't look at it that way, how much the defense was on the field. But now you're playing a team tonight that Menchville has been struggling. Well, they got a new coach and a new system he's trying to put in there, but you still can't take any team lightly in the Peninsula, can you?
Very talented football team. Very talented, you know, and they've played well in some games. They've played some teams, you know, very tough. I know in the Phoebus game, it's 13-6, 6 minutes or so go in the game. He ended up playing the whole second half or something like that. You know, it was pretty close. We were up there, and Phoebus got a really good football team, and Menchville was playing them tough, and ended up playing the whole second half on a 30-yard field. I mean, down on their end. So they're pretty good. They're certainly better than a 2-7 record would indicate. I know they got blasted last week, but I think it's one of those games that Heritage jumped on them, and you know, it kind of snowballed, and Menchville just kind of got out of it early. But they've definitely got some good people. Number 3's tough, the running back. He's been starting since he's a freshman.
Is that Booth?
Booth is good. He's an excellent football player. Number 2, he's been around, you know, some of those guys have been around 4 years. Yeah. So they're good athletes, got some experience, and you know, at this time of year, the system's not new for anybody.
Right. You got
10 ball games, the system's in. So
if it isn't, there's something wrong somewhere.
Well, they made some modifications to what they started out in, and but they'll do a good job. And
well, listen, we again congratulate you. You always do a great job. Good luck to you tonight, Mike.
I don't know. We work hard. We have fun at it.
Of course, Mike Smith and all the coaches have the kids prepared for this game. You know, they've been off for a couple of weeks, but you know Mike's going to have them ready to play.
Well, and I know they're ready to play. I was over to Hampton High today talking with Mike, and I ran into Keith Mann and Jared Green and Muffin Curry, and they're very loose. They're smiling, so you know they're ready to play, but you can see that there's no pressure to them. They're not going to let any pressure get to them. They're going to come out and do what they have to do to win this ball game tonight, and they would like nothing better than to put it away the first half, and then come out second half, run a couple of downs, and then bring in some substitutes. But this team is really ready for postseason play.
Well, and again, we had a chance a little earlier to talk with very likable head coach Bob Pierce of the Menchville Monarchs.
Well, Coach, this is the last game of the season. You don't have anywhere to go, but being a new coach, bringing in a new system, do you feel like your kids are getting to know what you want them to do?
We've had a good year. We feel like we've had some successes. We started out kind of rock bottom and kind of progressed on along.
Well, you played some teams real tough, except for last week. You weren't blown out of any games. I mean, you played Phoebus tough.
We felt like, you know, we could very easily be 4-4 right now versus 2-6, and it's just going through some growing pains. And you know, when you play teams like the caliber of Hampton and Heritage and Phoebus, 3 out of the top 6 teams in the state, 3 out of 4 weeks, it's tough.
It is, and when you hit them one right after the other like that, how do you get your breath? If you look at your team, give me some analysis of how you think you've come from the first game to the end of the season.
I think we played pretty solid defense all year long, with the exception of last week. Offensively, we're a young, particularly on the offensive line and defensive lines. They progressed along. They're learning how to play the game, and that's the key to it right now.
Right. Well, a lot of people don't know you've been on the peninsula a long time. You was at York High School for a while. Prior to that, tell me where you were. You was at Ferguson for a while.
I started out my coaching career at Ferguson High School back in '72 with Coach Harlan Hott, and went to York County, Menchville, York County for many years. Also was assistant coach at Apprentice School, and I also coached at Denby the year that Denby beat Hampton. So I've been around a ways.
So you've been here a while.
Yeah.
Well, listen, good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good enough. Stay tuned for tonight's starting lineups.
here at Darling Stadium as both teams have come on the sidelines, about set to get the officials' toss of the coin at the center of the field. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you through the sponsorship of the following: Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. By Zooms with 5 convenient Hampton locations.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. And in part by Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director. Leave anybody out?
I think we got everybody.
Got them all. Okay. Well, a lot of times, Bob, you and I, in our pregame stuff, we talk about what a perfect night for football. This is not a perfect night for football.
It is if you're a football player, because this is good weather for football. It really is. It's not so cold that you're gonna get hurt and your hands are going to get cold. When those kids are out there playing, they're not going to feel the cold at all. The ones that have to sit on the bench are going to feel the cold a little bit.
Now, we've got a little bit of a breeze tonight. It'll be going from left to right as you look at the field, and it's a pretty decent breeze, so that could become a factor in the game. But as we see right now, Charlie Davidson, our referee, is at the center of the field. Let's listen in for the pregame ceremony.
And here we have Captain Curry, Captain Mann, Captain Green, and Captain Mance. Shake hands, guys.
Center of the field for Menchville, number 2, Robert Jones, number 3, Jason Booth, and number 68, Lamar Fritz.
The other officials tonight are Mr. Richardson, Mr. Stollard, Mr. Foreman, and Mr. Mitchell. Okay, we have red and white. Have a penalty situation, I'll call for a captain of red or white. Let me explain it to you. Some penalties have several options. Once you give me your option, that's what we have to go with, so make sure you understand it. Okay, white, you're going to call it toss, regular coin, call it in the air loud enough so we can all hear it. If I drop it, I'll flip it again.
Head.
Called a head. It is a head. You have won the toss. You want to receive. Which goal do you want to defend?
Defending this goal.
You want to kick this way?
Yes, sir.
Put your back over there. Bring your backs over here to me. Over here. Okay, Menchville has won the toss and will receive. Okay, guys, let's shake hands and have a good game.
All right, so we've had the toss of the coin. Menchville will receive the ball. They'll be going from right to left, and they'll be going into that wind. As you might have imagined, the Hampton team, having lost the toss, will have the wind at their back to start the game. Now, we'll give you the starting offensive lineup for the Menchville Monarchs in just a moment.
Did you get a chance to talk about the officiating? Well, here's your Monarch offense.
Kubish is the center. Jones and Lewis are the guards. Anderson and Brooks are the tackles for Bob Pierce's Menchville Monarchs. Balance of the offensive lineup. Tight end is Hickman. Walker is the flanker. The wideout is Wolford. Booth is one running back. Clanton the other. And Jones is your starting quarterback.
We'll show you the defense for the Hampton Crabbers. Raymond Mann and Anthony Ware are the guards. Jared Green and Jeremy Southern are the tackles. Darrell Cooper and Alfonso Gunner are the ends. At the linebacker for the Crabbers, we have Mark Jones and Keith Mann. At the cornerbacks, Marcus Hagans and Hakeem Zarif, and Mondo Muffin Curry is the safety.
As we mentioned in the pregame discussion, this game has incredible importance to the Crabbers. Menchville, of course, at 2-6, will not be concerning themselves with postseason play, but I guarantee you they'd love nothing better than to play spoiler tonight. And they did play that Phoebus team tough when they played Phoebus. So we're about set to go. Alan Johnson, who was our player of the game last time we saw the Crabbers when they defeated the Phoebus Phantoms, will kick it away. And it's going to be taken at about the 9-yard line. A good size hole to the near side as they cross the 30-yard line. Keith Wolford is out to about the 32-yard line, where the Menchville Monarchs will start 1st and 10.
Hakeem Zarif was one of the tacklers that made a stop, and that's a nice kickoff for the young Crabber kicker.
Good return as well by Wolford, a 21-yard return to give the Monarchs the ball at the 32. 12-minute quarters in high school football.
We got a split backfield and a wing back. Really, it's a wing T with a man in motion for the Menchville, and we have movement already. And boy, that kills you as a coach, Tim. You come out, you're ready to go, you run your first play, you don't even get it off, and now you got 1st and 15.
Walker was the man in motion. Not necessarily the man who was illegally in motion. Let's listen to Charlie Davidson.
We have a dead ball, illegal procedure on the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
By the way, it's official. Tonight is not Charlie's birthday.
Yeah. Oh, and we apologize to Charlie, but his crew told us it was his birthday. Not only that, but told us what his age was, which wasn't correct either.
I work in the same building with his wife, and she told me about that on Monday morning. I want you to know that. The Monarchs, starting 1st and 15, get close to the original line of scrimmage, get out to the 31. That'll bring up 2nd down and about 12 to go for the Monarchs.
Green and Raymond Mann were in on the tackle that time.
Second down and a dozen. Jones on the option, pitches right side to Walker, and Walker will barely get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard.
That just didn't look like it was run smoothly. Rather than coming down the line of scrimmage, the quarterback should have been getting pressure and pitched the ball. It looked like the trail man was too deep, and when he got the ball, he kind of waited for it. Well, Hampton was right there, and no wonder he didn't pick up any yardage.
So it brings up 3rd down and 10 as they get credit for 1 yard on the play. Jones over center with a split backfield. Back wants to pass, has a man wide open at the 40, and that's Walker. He's got the first down at the 45-yard line.
He just split the two defenders and picked up that first down. Nice pass by the offensive quarterback, Jones.
So Walker gets the first down as they move the ball to the 45 of Menchville. Just underway from Darling Stadium. This game videotaped for your pleasure on the, what is today, Bob?
This is 6th.
6th.
Try the 6th.
6th of November. I like that. Works for me.
And the reason I know that is because tomorrow's the 7th, and Bob and I get to get up real early tomorrow and go play golf over Smithfield. I'll tell you a little more about that later on.
Is that kind of like ice fishing this time of year? You have to thaw your golf clubs out?
They do have a thing called night golf where you have balls that glow. I don't know what they have when it's that early in the morning.
Well, there's going to be frost on the pumpkin, so it's going to be a little nippy out there. Ball at the 48-yard line, a gain of about 3. Got motion and a flag down. Let's see if Menchville was guilty of the illegal procedure. And that's the call.
And if that player would have then turned and like he was going in motion to the side.
Ball start on the offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
So the Monarchs backed up 5 yards, 2nd down and 12 for Menchville. Just underway from Darling Stadium, 9:33 left in the scoreless first quarter. Jason Clark is your ball handler this time for the Monarchs. Out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. A must-win game for the Crabbers. And again, you know, like you made a good point during the pregame discussion, every game since the Heritage game has been a playoff game for the Crabbers. I mean, even the 2nd game of the season, that's pretty tough. But basically, that's what it's been. Now, they had no way of knowing they'd get into a situation like that, but that's where it was. Almost picked off. Boy, that ball, I'm telling you, on a warmer night, that might have been an interception by Raymond Mann because it hit him right in the hands. He read that play perfectly.
Well, he dropped back in the flat and just broke out to where the ball was, kept his eyes on the quarterback, and as you watch the replay, and you notice he broke right in front. Nice job by Raymond Mann.
Keith Wolford was the intended receiver. Mann almost had it, and he would have been off to the races. So the Monarchs will have to kick the ball. They get a little contact on the punter, but no flag came down. Owen Mayo is the punter, and the ball will be downed inside the Hampton 25 at the 23-yard line. A 30-yard kick with no return for the Monarchs.
Tim, we will pick a player of the game from both of these teams tonight, and each one of those players will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving. They're located at Kickoff Road. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 723-6067. Dave Buckwalter's owner. I'll talk about the shirt in a minute.
All right, and we'll also give you the lineups for the Crabbers on offense and the Monarchs on defense as time gives us the opportunity here. Crabbers starting from their 23-yard line. Higgins is the quarterback. Got a man open and overthrew the intended receiver. That was Mac Jones coming across the middle.
He came out of the backfield, and we look at the Monarchs on defense.
Jones and French are the tackles. Lawson and Anderson are the ends. The inside linebackers are Isaac and Spencer. Balance of the starters are the outside linebackers are Darrell Cheever and Darnell Cheever. Walker and Jones are the D-backs along with Jason Booth. 2nd and 10 from the 23. Give you the Crabbers on offense in just a moment. On the draw play, this is Muffin Curry, and Curry gets to the outside and crosses the 35-yard line. That would be enough for a first down for the Crabbers.
On offense for the Crabbers, we have Smith at center, Perry and Walker at guards, Raymond Mann and Jarrett Green are the tackles. The tight end for the Crabbers is Jeremy Southern. The split end is Alexander Mann, flanker Hakeem Zarif. The tailback, Armando Curry. Fullback is Mac Jones, and the quarterback is Marcus Higgins. And I also want to talk a little bit about some other guards that will be rotating in for the Crabbers on offense.
36-yard line, first down. And this is man and man. The ball comes loose. And now the officials are going to say no fumble. They'll say that Keith Mann was down by contact, and that was a close call.
It really was. Now, the Crabbers have 6 offensive guards they run in. I've already talked about Perry and Walker, but they'll also run in Landry and Miles and Michael W. Smith and Stephen Williams. So they have 6 offensive guards that the Crabbers will run in. That will wear you down in itself.
Gain of 4 by Mann. Ball marked at the 40-yard line. 2nd down and 6. On the pitch to Curry, and Curry cuts it to the 45, close to another first down, depending on the mark. If the mark is where they appear to be standing, that will be another first down. Gain out to the 47-yard line.
As of the players of the game, the plaque comes from Buckwalter's Engraving, it said, and the shirt comes from the Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods as we watch the replay. Located in Pocosin, they can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment and uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is owner.
Another first down for the Crabbers at their 47. And this is Mann, and he is stopped as he gets to the 49-yard line. A nice defensive surge that time by the Monarchs, and they were led by number 22, that's Corey Spencer. Did a nice job along with number 23, Philip Isaac.
Coaching for the Crabbers, of course, head coach Mike Smith, assisted by Danny Mitchell, Alvis Mann, Lanny Franklin, Adolph Hawkins, Kenny Gilliam, Shannon Smith, and Tony Carlson. The trainer is Diane Limerick.
2nd and 8 for the Crabbers. Just short of midfield. Higgins on play action, has time to throw. Throws Mac Jones again, the intended receiver, and again he's overthrowing the intended receiver Jones coming again out of the backfield.
Well, and Tim, what may happen is Mac is looking for the ball and slowing down instead of running and letting Marcus throw the ball to him, and that may be part of the problem. It looks like Marcus Higgins is overthrowing the receiver, and it may not be the case. The coaches for the Menchville Monarchs, Bob Pierce, of course, is the head coach, assisted by Greg Lewis, Jimmy Smith, Phil Forbes, Robert Booth are the... You
done?
And I'm telling you, Sykes, who used to work with our crew, is the trainer over at Menchville. I make sure I want to mention her.
I saw Tanya as we came in tonight. She was down on the sideline. The Crabbers looking at 4th down now as Higgins was stopped short of midfield, and it brings up 4th down and almost 8 for the Crabbers. So they will bring on the kicking team. Keith Wolford is the deep receiver for the Monarchs, and the ball is kicked nicely out of bounds, preventing any return inside the 15-yard line. Good-looking punt by the Crabbers.
And that was a good job. You can't run it back if you kick it out of bounds like that.
Marcus Higgins booted it 38 yards, and the Monarchs now will have it for the second time in the ball game. They'll start inside their 15 at the 13. And is that Nathaniel? No rain on my head, but boy, is it cold out here in Braxton.
And at the other end, of course, we have Sarah. Don't call me Susan Bowers.
Right. Now, you might want to explain sometime why that's her name.
Well, Sarah Bowers and Susan used to do what Sarah did, and we, of course, in our infinite wisdom, would call her Susan all the time. So,
this is we stuff.
well, it was you that did it. I just kind of follow your cue.
The Monarchs starting inside the 15, give the ball off and get out to about the 16-yard line. Clark again the ball carrier for Menchville.
For all your printing job, give Gear Up Printing a call. Gear Up is located at 1909 North Armstead Avenue. Give Tommy Gear a call at 827-8277.
And don't forget to check out your neighborhood Zooms. They have 5 convenient Hampton locations. Good food and great prices at Zooms. Gain of a couple, 2nd down and 8 for the Monarchs, just across the 15-yard line. To the near side, out close to the 20. Booth gets the call this time. Number 3, Jason Booth, a senior. Southern in on the stop for Hampton. Monarchs have the ball at the 20. Need to get to the 24, so it's 3rd down and 4 for Menchville. Trying to play the role of spoiler. Darrell Cheever comes to the near side in the slot, split backfield. Play action. Jones has a man open, completes the pass right at the 1st down marker, and it would appear that he has enough for the 1st down at the 25-yard line.
Nice job that time for the receiver after catching the ball, making sure he got the 1st down. WHCS Channel 46 welcomes you to the Math Zone, a live televised interactive call-in program for students to get help with their math.
Here's a replay just real quickly.
Join Tyler Elementary teacher Cassandra Hamilton and Davis Middle School teacher Sherry Martin. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Call 850-5426.
Marcus Walker tripped up in the backfield for a loss. Hampton defense comes up big. Darrell Cooper in on the stop for the Crabbers. They get the ball at the 23-yard line, a loss of 2. 2nd down and a dozen for the Monarchs. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left here in a scoreless first quarter. Hampton and Menchville.
It's a pass! Pass!
Fumble in the backfield. The ball is loose, and it looks like Jones recovered the fumble for the Monarchs. No. They say Hampton got it.
Yes, Donnie Green got it.
Donnie Green got it. I thought Jones had gotten it.
Well, it looked like he had it, but Donnie Green had the ball in his hand. What a great job. Donnie Green, Jarrett Green. I'm sorry. Man, I'm calling him Donnie all the time. In fact, I saw his brother was interviewed on TV the other day.
So a turnover gives the ball to the Crabbers at the Menchville 15. What could be a costly mistake. I thought Jones had it for a moment there, but Green just pounced on it, went head over heels, and came up with the pigskin. On the draw play, this is Curry. Curry wants to get to the outside. He's going to race to the corner, and he is in for the score.
Oh, man, he just got in. Wow, what a nice job.
Had to wait for a second. He got to the pylon and got in just at the last second. So the Crabbers get on the scoreboard first after the turnover. The Monarchs turn it over, and one play later, here's your replay coming right at you. I mean, literally.
You're right there. And the first person that Muffin congratulated was, guess who? Jared Green.
How'd you get it? That's what I was getting.
Johnson will be on to try to tack on the extra point. Out of Curry's hold, the kick is up, and it is no good. like it was good, but
I thought it was good too.
Clearly the officials right there. So with 3:51 left in the first quarter, the Crabbers take the lead 6-0. And we're happy to have Wood Funeral Home again as one of our sponsors this year. Wood Funeral Home, where the funeral director is Richard Pulley. Also on staff are Brian Wood and John Ware. While I'm thinking of it, while we have a chance, I want to tell you about Hampton Chevrolet. They're a locally owned business, and they strongly believe in supporting the community which they serve. Hampton Chevrolet urges you to get involved in your students' school PTA. We want to thank all of our corporate sponsors. They have been most generous in helping us again this year to defray the cost of bringing high school coverage to you on Channel 46.
I had a lady in our church, Aileen McGlorick, says, he says, you sure been on Channel 5 a lot lately. I says, Aileen, we're on 46. She says, yeah, I know, but I still think of you as Channel 5. And I said, I appreciate that. But you got to go to 46 if you want to watch us.
Relatively short kickoff this time will be fielded, or at least attempted to be fielded at the 19-yard line. Did the Crabbers get it? They did. So the Monarchs having difficulty fielding that ball. We've got a Crabbers shaken up on the play. 41-yard kick, and the Crabbers recover it.
Guess who got it? Marcus Hagens.
Marcus Hagens got it. Trying to see who was.
That's why the coaches a lot of times tell you, get a fair catch there.
Still got a player for Hampton trying to suck it up and get into the offensive lineup, but he is definitely hurting, and Charlie is not going to let him continue. So Diane Limerick is coming out. Let's see if we can see who that is. Is it 85? I believe that's
85. That's Cooper.
Yep, that's who it is, Daryl Cooper. And you see him there being assisted off the field. These kids are tough. They don't want to come out no matter how much.
And Diane Limerick is saying, "You hurt, you come on. That's my job."
That's right. So the Crabbers get another huge break here. The ball on the 17-yard line of the Monarchs as they fumble the kickoff. And the Crabbers will again try and put points on the board. Hagens drops back, throws, got a man open in the end zone. Touch! No, he couldn't hold on to it. Thought he had it, but he couldn't keep a hold of it. That is number 89, Carl Calloway. And that ball was rifled in there as Hagens got some mustard on that one.
Academics play a key role in the NCAA clearinghouse procedure. Certain criteria must be met by your son or daughter in order to participate in athletics at a higher level. For additional information, please contact your guidance counselor, coach, or athletic director.
You saw on the replay, Callaway in the back of the end zone just couldn't hold on to it. But again, in defense of this young man, it's cold out there. The hands get a little cold, and guess what? These are high school kids, so let's not lose sight of that. Muffin Curry on the delayed handoff drags the tackler to the 6-yard line. That'll be enough for a 1st and goal for the Crabbers.
And Menchville was not.
Here's the replay.
Menchville has not been playing a bad game, but you turn over 2 turnovers. You give one on the 15, one on the 17. That's tough against any team, but against the Hampton Crabbers, it's even tougher.
You can't win a lot of games giving the ball up in your own end of the field like that. 1st and goal from the 6. Down to about the 2-yard line goes Curry. Curry already has a 15-yard touchdown. Looks like Keith Mann will bring the play in. Curry will come out. Curry already 5 carries for 48 yards.
Well, Stephen Williams, number 70, Mitchell 61, and 76. I don't even have 76. Who's 76?
For who?
For Hampton?
Let me see if I can. Ball is loose, and the ball is still a live ball.
No, he's saying that the side judge is pointing that the ball was down.
I thought he was standing there waiting for someone to recover it. The ball down at the 1 foot line, if there were one. That's a couple of bullets that Crabbers have dodged there. A couple of fumbles that they were very fortunate to remove there. Now a timeout is being taken by the Menchville Monarchs with 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Crabbers 3rd and goal inside the 1. Well, this game concludes our regular season. Bob, you and I were talking about it both on and off camera. There's a lot to be decided still. The only thing we know for certain is that Phoebus is in the playoffs.
Right, and if you look at the Peninsula District, the top 3 teams, Phoebus, Heritage, and Hampton, all Division 5. You go to the Eastern District, Granby has won their district. They're Division 5. Maury is Division 6. And they won't have any effect on us over here with these teams. The Beach schools, all of those are Division 6. You go to Southeastern District, and that's where the big contest tonight is. Deep Creek is a Division 5, Western Branch is a Division 6. That team, both of them are 9-0. So you're talking about a game that's it's going to have a lot to do with it. If a Division 6 team wins, if Western Branch wins, then that knocks Deep Creek completely out of the playoffs and may slip Heritage in.
They've still got to battle a tough Bethel team.
Yeah, they play them Saturday afternoon, as a matter of fact.
Higgins scores from a yard out to make it 12-0. 2 turnovers have been the undoing of Menchville here in the first quarter. Well, by the time the folks see this game, they will have probably read who did what and to whom. But as we watch this game, of course, we're doing it live, and the Crabbers now with a 12-0 score. And Johnson will be on to try and make it 13. Looked just like the last one, only this one is through the uprights.
Well, he really got a leg into that one.
He nailed the other one,
but
too.
I thought the last one was good. I'm just, reading in the paper talking about Division 5. Heritage can make the playoffs if they beat the Bruins tomorrow, if Deep Creek or Hampton loses. Well, we know one of them's not going to lose. Either way, I think Hampton's going to lose.
Crabbers fans, let me introduce you to your cheerleaders.
Well, the Crabbers have gone on top 13-0 with 2:01 left here in the first quarter. Of course, as we've said before, the Crabbers with a win will be in the playoffs, but they can finish high enough to host a game if other things happen.
Right. Well, if Deep Creek loses to Western Branch, Hampton will slide into the 3rd seed, and Phoebus will claim the top seed.
Now, the way that seeding works, of course, is 1 will play 4 and 2 will play 3. Again, that same kind of short kick, and again, Monarchs this time field it cleanly, and they'll have the ball in pretty good position at their own 32-yard line.
Now, if you want to go for the Division 4 spots,
I've been going there for a minute.
You were really listening, huh? The Phantoms, of course, have already wrapped up the district's automatic bid, according to the Virginia High School League rule. Granby and Phoebus have clinched their berths. So now the other 3 are up between Hampton, Heritage, and Deep Creek.
We've got a first quarter score, if there is in fact a way to say no score. Deep Creek and Western Branch scoreless after 1.
Well, that's got to be a good game. Both of them 9-0.
That was of the caliber of our Phoebus Hampton game a couple of weeks ago. Jason Clark brings it out to the 35-yard line, a pickup of 3, 2nd down and 7, and now an official's stoppage of play. Apparently have a problem with some equipment, or the Monarchs will leave the field for some repairs.
It's like Stephen Brooks, number 75, is going over. Maybe his chin strap's not working or something's not happening. But I tell you, this young man, Terrence Jones, coming in, he's only 5'8", Tim, but he weighs 240, so he takes up a pretty good size of that right side of that offensive line.
2nd and 7 for the Monarchs. In motion is Booth. And off up the middle, Jason Clark gets the call. And Ware in on the stop for Hampton. Makes it 3rd down for the Monarchs. Ball is marked at their 38-yard line. They need to get to the 42, or just across the 42. 3rd down and 4 for Menchville. Less than a minute remaining in the first quarter. Booth in motion, and a pitch to Jason Booth, trying to turn that right end, and he will not get to the first down.
Fumble again.
In fact, the ball has come loose. No signal yet of a change of possession. And apparently the Monarchs keep the ball, but it will be 4th down, and they'll be forced to bring on the kicking team.
Jared Green's got a nose for that ball. He was right on the bottom of that pile. Mondo is back.
Owen Mayo is back deep to kick for the Monarchs, standing inside of his 25. A little bit of pressure from the Crabbers. A low liner, and that will go, well, I started to say to go out of bounds, but in fact it is fielded inbounds at about the 38-yard line by Curry, and he stopped immediately at that point. So no time on the clock as we've come to the conclusion of the first quarter. And our score after 1. As we watch the replay of the kick, Muffin thought about it, then did grab it, and then he got
there was no time on the clock.
He did.
There's nowhere for him to go.
13-0 after 1 from Darling Stadium. As I understand it, Bob, and again, the reason we talk about the pairings, of course, if Hampton and Phoebus end up in the 1 and 2 spots, then that would cause the games, because they both be hosting, of course, they can't both host the Darling Stadium on Friday night. That would mean a Friday and a Saturday game on the team.
That's probably right, and I don't know if it'd be Friday and Saturday afternoon or Friday night and Saturday. I'm not sure how it works.
In the past, they played the games in the evening. We've never had an afternoon.
Yeah, usually don't go in the afternoon until we get to the stadium. And the state again, Bob, for those people that want to know, is played again over at Norfolk State and both Division 5 and Division 6 game will be played the same day, just like it was last year with Kickoff and Hampton both over there.
At the 37-yard line, Higgins wants to throw, got a man wide open at the 30, he's got it, and that would be an easy score for the Crabbers. Look back downfield to see if there's any flags. There are none.
Alexander Mann
started at the 38-yard line, so that would be a 62-yard pass completion to another man.
Okay. And he was so wide open, but I like that pass that time. Marcus Higgins threw it up, let him run underneath it. Didn't try to fire it in there, but down the field, good job. Nice route. I don't know, somebody missed their assignment. I know Bob Pierce has got to be wondering, you know, what happened. We were playing so good, and all of a sudden it just went south.
Johnson just squeezes the ball inside the upright. 63-yard pass completion from Higgins to Mann. That's number 22, Alexander Mann. We got Keith Mann, Raven Mann, and here you see the tail end of the play, and Mann waltzing in, followed by big number 81, Jeremy Sutton, 6'4". Mann is just a little one at 5'9". Little in height, but big in heart, as all these guys are. These guys are not even close to nothing on the first play of the second quarter. And I guess you might say that.
Well, you could say that. You really could.
Too much firepower
You know, when we the game tonight, we just give it to man, right?
That's right. You can hardly go wrong. Man, or man.
That's right. And if they didn't like that, we could go to a coach man.
Set to go with the kickoff, trying to make sure the Crabbers have got the right number of players on the field. And do they have a 12? What do they got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They only got 10. Trying to get another one. There's Zarif finally getting in there. And again, that same pooch kick, and that one is almost, he stepped out of bounds. Oh. Got some running room down the left side. Got away from one tackler. And Curry will down him inside the 50 at the 45-yard line. But he stepped on the sideline right there when he picked the ball up.
His foot was on the white line when he got the ball.
Well, the officials did not see that one, but if you saw the William and Mary Hampton University game last week, see if we can see it on this play. I don't know that we will or not, but you're going to see right there. He picked the ball up. 28-yard return. Nice looking return for the Monarchs. That's one of the bright spots here in the first quarter. Darrell Cheever gives the Monarchs good field position at the 45. Batted down by, you guessed it, Jared Green. 2nd and 10 after the pass is knocked to the ground. I won't belabor this point, but I don't know if you got a chance to see that or not. I just happened to flip over last Saturday and watch that controversial play over at Hampton University. Boy, was that a...
My neighbor came by and he was hot, and I said, well, what happened? He says, you got to see it. I'm not going to tell you about it. You got to see it.
It was bad. But you know what? Hey, officials are human like everybody else. You can make a mistake anytime. Booth wrapped up after he makes the catch. They have even lost a half a yard, but at any event, it brings up 3rd down and about 10. Still no score from Western Branch and Deep Creek. Keeping in touch. I think Scotty's got it on the radio in the truck there, I believe. 3rd down for the Monarchs. Jones rolling. Now feels some pressure, gets a good block. And that will be the end of that.
From the hit man.
Nope, that's a 6-yard sack. Back on the Menchville side of midfield. Jared Green there along with Big, number 70. Stephen Williams, 6'2", 244. Has not missed a meal. So the 6-yard loss.
One, he made up for it somewhere else.
6-yard loss on the play. Mayo back to punt. No rush from the Crabbers as they set up the return. Had one man going after the kicker. The ball is kicked out of bounds. See exactly where they marked the ball. Right about the 13. So that's a good-looking kick from Mayo. No return.
Tom Gear Printing is on the board of the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Peninsula. They have over 200 little brothers looking for big brothers. And this is a great program. If you're interested, give them a call at 827-0110. That's the Big Brothers, Big Sisters office. They need volunteers to spend 4 to 5 hours a week with their little brother. Kids start as young as 6 years old. That's Tom Gear at Gear Up Printing.
He had a good shot of you ad-libbing that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Muffin into the secondary, turns the corner, got away. He's got one man down the sideline. Look at this young man. Look at the lead block he's getting from one of his linemen. And unless he stepped out of bounds, he's going to score.
Who is that? 77? That's Raymond Mann.
That was Raymond Mann all the way down the field, leading the block.
What a job by Raymond Mann. 6'2", 227 junior.
And that will not hurt Muffin's statistics, as he has 87-yard run for the score.
And well, and Raymond ran 67 yards.
He was ahead of him. He was actually leading the pack.
It looked like number 3 might catch up with him, Jason Booth, but not to be.
Johnson kicks the ball, and it is good to make the score 27-0.
Here's a replay. Watch this. His man is blocking. Watch him take off.
He was trailing. Watch this. This is no little guy here. Look at this blocking front on the guy. Just enough to distract him enough for Curry to get by. Now that number 77 is 6'2", 227.
Tim, if you watch the beginning of that play, he was blocking the tackle that opened up the outside run, and then now that's what you call a hustle.
Curry now 7 carries for 136 yards and 2 touches here in the first half, and the Crabbers lead 27-0. They have a 45-0 rule. Call it off after a while.
I don't think so.
Well, I don't want to diminish the efforts by the Monarchs. They are a young team. They're going to be a good team, but it's tough. You come in here playing a team, you talk about emotion and desire. Hampton has got all of that going for them.
And Tim, they hadn't had to hit anybody other than their own players for 2 weeks, so they're ready to do something.
Yeah.
Now let's hit somebody with a different color jersey, and let's score some points.
Tough spot to put Menchville in. But I think they pretty much knew that, and that's very unfortunate. But got a lot of time left in the first half, and it's 27-0 Hampton.
Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit.
This time Johnson kicks a little deeper, and it once again is mishandled. And this time nothing happening for Cheevers, as he is wrapped up for a loss. 39-yard kick, and ended up back at the, see where they'll mark his forward progress. 21-yard line. Hey, the role of the parent is paramount in the education process, and Hampton Chevrolet encourages parents to get involved. Join your students' school PTA. That's Hampton Chevrolet, 1073 West Mercury Boulevard.
Number 8, Woodrow Scott, 5'9", 12th grader, goes in at linebacker.
Now the Monarchs back on offense.
I check that defensive end. Had movement.
Yep, had movement. Like someone on the right side moved a little early. Zooms is the place to go when you have that craving for a hot sandwich and an order of hot potato wedges. Zooms with 5 convenient Hampton locations, and they have hot coffee, which I can.
I was going to say,
hot chocolate.
Can you have them bring some and deliver some of that?
All over. They're right across the street.
5 yards, still first down.
Sorry, I talked right over Charlie there. Charlie Davidson, a referee, telling you about the illegal procedure against the Monarchs. That backs them up to the 15-yard line.
Tim, you told me you were going to call
6-yard penalty.
play golf this week.
The weather was so nice on Wednesday.
Oh, come on.
I know. I was a chicken. I had this silly thing called work getting away. You got a late flag.
Yeah, there was definitely contact before the ball got there.
A couple of flags down, and that will give the Monarchs a break here. So pass interference. Again, we'll make all of you aware of the fact that it's not at the point of infraction. It's from the line of scrimmage. They'll mark off 15 yards and first down.
We have pass interference on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot and first down.
And we got a first down. Automatic first down.
Bring up first down for Menchville on their own 30.
Beaton came in tonight, was leading the league 788, Curry now at 736, 52 yards behind him.
Handoff goes to Jason Clark. He's across the 32 to about the 33-yard line, pickup of about 3.
Back up, Red. Back up, Red.
Back to the live action. The Crabbers have intercepted Jones's pass. This is Muffin Curry, and he lost the ball. He tried to lateral, I think, and they're going to give the ball to the Crabbers. I think they're going to say he was down by contact.
The receiver got tangled up as we watched the replay, got tangled up with one of the Crabbers and fell down.
That's
Nice
Muffin Curry on the interception. Then he broke a tackle. Then he's in the grasp, and the ball came loose.
Come off
they were
before.
very fortunate that it didn't get called for that fumble.
Well, I think the ball went back to Curry. I think he recovered his own fumble because he was definitely not down.
Well, what we can't know is whether the whistle was blowing to stop his forward progress.
Well, you
but
shut the window.
That's not completely. And Tina's glad I did.
Tackle made by Terrence Jones.
55 seconds to go in the second quarter. Deep Creek on the 3-yard line. Get ready to go in.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10. Clock moving now, 8:15 to go in the first half. And it's been all Hampton, 27-0. On the draw play, this is Gunter. Alfonso Gunter gets the call.
Looked good running that ball. Shows good speed.
Across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. It brings up third down and a pair for the Crabbers. I would imagine if I were doing the signal calling, I won't guess, but I would think that the Crabbers want to shorten this game now, to keep the ball on the ground if they can, and they've had good success with it. They give the ball to Muffin and he went 87 yards. I'm sure they were expecting him to only get maybe 30, but on the option, Higgins keeps the ball, gets to the outside, got a man blocking in front of him. That's Gunter. You got to get around Booth. Higgins cuts back, and he may go. He will score.
Oh, I tell you, the Crabbers do a great job of going downfield and blocking after their initial block. What a nice job for Marcus Higgins.
71 yards.
Almost 36.
36, 74 yards. 64 yards. Pick a number.
Hike.
64-yard run by Higgins. That's his second score of the night. Johnson will be on to try it, and ever since missing that first one, he has been perfect. 34-0.
34.
35.
Hike.
36. Here you see him coming right at you and right past you. He does a nice job of cutting back right there.
Great job of cutting back, using his blockers.
Well, these kids for Hampton always do a good job of using their blockers. We're told at halftime the game between Deep Creek and Western Branch, no score. So
Well, we know that somebody will win.
Yep.
'Cause we will go into overtime over there if they need it. We won't, they will.
We won't be doing it in overtime.
Somebody will go into overtime. I'm not going to say what Tina said.
No score at half.
The Hampton Crabbers will have playoff tickets on sale Wednesday
You see that?
and Thursday from 4 to 7 at the high school. Where and against who, we do not know yet, but they will be playing.
Y'all got that umpire. He's y'all.
Crabbers, if again, just real simply, if Deep Creek wins, the Crabbers will go and play at Deep Creek. That basically seems to be the way it'll work out. Again, the Monarchs trying to get a return going, and they've got a good effort out of their kicking
Man,
game has been tough tonight.
I tell you, Hampton looks like they're doing a lot of arm tackling out there. Now, who was that, Wolford?
Yeah, Keith
He looked
Wolford.
good on that.
They've done a good job on the returns. They got a good return from Darrell Cheever a while ago, too. 16-yard return. Here's the replay. Going to watch An excellent effort by Wolford, but you're right, a lot of arm tackling.
3.
Just a slight one there. It's 4. Gunter missed him.
About 10 people missed him.
Well, that'll be one thing they'll work on in practice this week, I'm sure.
You got to wrap them up.
First down from the 42. And they give the ball up the middle to Jason Clark. Clark to the 47-yard line. A little more than 6 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Excuse me, first half rather. Crabbers on top 34-0. Curry opened the scoring. Higgins scored after that. Then Higgins threw a 63-yard pass to Alexander Mann. Curry from 87 and then Higgins from 64. So the big play has been there in the last 3 efforts for the Crabbers. 63, 87, and 64 yards. Second down and about 5. Long count by the Monarchs. And the ball goes to Jason Clark.
I tell you, Jeremy Southern was right there, met him.
Loss of about a yard on the play for the Monarchs. Third down and about 6. Ball is marked between the 46 and 47-yard line of Menchville. So if Hampton and Phoebus should be in the 1-2 spot, then we will have both of those games for you, I assume, if they play both one on Friday and one on Saturday. And of course, if it's just Phoebus hosting here, we'll be here Friday night to do that game for you with an opponent to be named later. Again, Jason Clark. Jared Green on the stop for the Crabbers.
Jared he's funny. He just shakes his head. Ain't no way you coming through me.
Ball is marked shy of the 49-yard line. It's fourth down and about 3. So Mayo, again, who's been a busy kicker here in the first half for the Monarchs, will kick it away.
He's been doing a good job of kicking it out of bounds. That ball dropped nose down, but he got a nice bounce.
Fielded by Muffin Curry at the 13-yard line. Down the near sideline. Has some blocking. Needs one block right there. He got it. And he may go. I don't know. It looks like he might get caught this time, and he is caught from behind by Jason Booth.
Jason was the guy that was catching up with him on the other run, but he couldn't get by Raymond Mann to get to him.
A 75-yard return from the 13 all the way down to the 10-yard line. Just shy of the 10, so technically it would appear the Crabbers could get a first down and not score. But it'd be tough.
Yeah, I was going to say that ball is going to be rusting right next to that white line on the goal line for them to get a first down.
Well, give credit to Jason Booth. He could have just given it up and let him go, but that was not going to happen. He chased him down and kept him from going in. Now Muffin Curry gets the call and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all.
Darnell Cheever making the tackle for Menchville.
Darnell Cheever in on the stop for the Monarchs. Ball maybe a half a yard on the play. The ball now squarely on the 10-yard line. Approaching 3.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Muffin comes out and Keith Mann goes in at the tailback spot. In the I formation, Mac Jones is the fullback. 3 wideouts.
Jones gets the ball, and the Monarchs have Jones as he is stopped, amongst others, by Lamar French, number 68.
Number 55 was the other guy in on the tackle right away, and that was Antonio Anderson.
So third down and 10 at the 10. Less than 3 minutes to go in the first half. 34 Hampton, Menchville nothing. Higgins on the option. And Higgins will be stopped. The ball comes loose, but he was down at the 6. So
Well,
pick up a 4 for Higgins.
That was Philip Isaac, number 23, that caught him from behind because he was trying to move and juke another ball player.
So the Crabbers looking at 4th down, in essence 4th down and goal. As I said, they can just about get a first down at the 1-foot line, and now a timeout has been called by the Crabbers with 2:05 remaining in the first half. They'll discuss this play.
Well, Tim, we're going to miss you. Bob Kill and I are going to miss you tomorrow. At 7 o'clock, we got a nice little shotgun start golf tournament over at Smithfield.
That's what it would take to get me out there tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Is a shotgun? Oh, okay. But anyway, this is a good deal. There's a young man by the name of Don Berry who is a deacon at the New Market Baptist Church that needs a bone marrow transplant, and this is one of the ways that they're trying to raise some money for him. And New Market contacted a lot of the different churches in the area, and we got a team together and came up one guy short, so I got my mean man Bob Killen over there. He's going to keep score, so we'll do well.
Oh, he'll be your statistician?
Yeah, he's good. Well, they're going to give us a continental breakfast, and then they're going to give us a snack and going to feed us lunch.
I've heard you say this thing about the breakfast and the lunch, and I don't know who you're trying to convince. That's what I'm working on here is I know it's for a great cause, and I know you guys will have a great time. If the weather was about 40 degrees warmer, I'd be envious.
I tell you, we'll enjoy it anyway.
I'm sure you will.
Good group of guys going over. Joe Horrell's the one that brought it up to our attention. In fact, Joe himself has got together 5 different teams, foursomes, to go over and play in that, so that he's really been working hard for it.
All right, 4th down and about 5. Higgins rolling is in the grass, but gets away from a would-be tackler. Now throws at the back of the end zone, wide open, touchdown. What an excellent job of Higgins to find man at the back of the end zone.
And there was no weak effort by the Monarchs. They had a lot of pressure on Marcus, but he did a great job of finding the open receiver. I hope we have that in replay.
Alexander Mann looked like Higgins was going to be stopped and might even have been tackled for a loss, but he got away from a would-be tackler and then had the presence of mind to find Mann deep in the end zone as the extra point is good.
He's going to pull. We're not going to pull.
And the Crabbers now have extended the lead. Here's the replay of the touchdown. Higgins is almost down there and then finds Mann in the back of the end zone for an easy touchdown.
And he just went back, made the cut, and just stood there. The defender moved up. And I don't know how Higgins found him, but he knew that's where he should be, I guess.
So the Crabbers have added to the total 41-0 now, as we have 3 seconds, less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. And the Crabbers have scored 4 touchdowns here in the second quarter. Menchville came out and did pretty well early, but 2 turnovers just was the whole momentum swing. Menchville was really doing quite well.
I thought, they were holding their own. They weren't dominating, but they picked up a couple first downs. But you can't turn the ball over. Once on the 15 and once on the 17, that'll just kill you each time. And from then, you just kind of open up the floodgates.
Scotty doesn't like my description of the time on the clock, apparently.
What do you mean? He didn't like
I said there's 3 seconds less than 2 minutes.
Well, I think that's a good time to say, isn't it?
Ball goes out of bounds. That'll give the Monarchs the ball. They won't have to worry about fumbling this one. It will be at the 35.
Well, it's still 3 seconds less of 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Does Scotty not know that's 157?
I don't know.
We have a dead ball, illegal procedure.
Was that
on
me?
the kicking team?
Oh, well,
Scotty?
Placed on the
Yes,
35.
right.
We
We
apologize.
apologize to Scotty because he knew.
Sarah.
Ron said it.
I'll have a different way of saying it next time. I'll personally,
You could say three
I'll
clicks
personally,
less.
I'll personally convey it to Ron when we go down at halftime.
Oh, while you're down at halftime, run over to Zoom's and pick up some hot coffee.
Really?
will you?
Some hot coffee, hot chocolate. Back to the game at Jason Booth. If you think we're punchy now, wait till about the late in the third quarter when this massacre is indelibly etched in everyone's mind as the Monarchs now out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line.
That's a good pickup on first down, almost 6 yards.
Yep. It's tough, you know. And I don't want to belabor the point, but Menchville sitting over there looking on the wrong end of a 41-0 score in a season that's going to end up 2-7, but
40 seconds left to go.
Listen to me, 40 seconds less than 2 minutes. I try to be a little inventive with my description, and that's what I get. Where's Bateman?
Well, I don't know who that runner is, but he ran out of about 4 tacklers and may have picked up the first down.
Well,
and that was number 3.
He
that
was actually
Booth.
ran out of 2 less than 6 tacklers is what he actually did.
First down.
Two less than 6 was 4, right?
So when I get a par 4 tomorrow, that'll be 2 less than a double bogey.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's just your perspective.
This guy said give me 2 less than paycheck.
Well, we probably won't be quite as inventive in the second half. We'll go for your standard broadcast in the second half, right? None of this inventive timeline. We have 3 seconds less than 1 minute remaining in the first half. And for those of you on the West Coast, that's 57 seconds. Hey, we got to have some fun here, guys.
Did we get all?
Oh, we got all the sponsors in. Yeah, we probably lost a couple of sponsors, as a matter of fact.
Oh, maybe we'll pick up a sponsor that does watches or something, stopwatches or clocks or something. We might pick up a new sponsor.
Something time-oriented would be good. Timex is right. Take a licking and keep on ticking.
Is Swayze around there somewhere?
Swayze. John Cameron's down there, buried in the end zone, I think, along with Jimmy Hoffa. From the 46-yard line, the Monarchs, through all of this frivolity we've got going on here, got a first down. Jason Booth
Easy, guys, easy.
pays the price after a yard.
2, Dave.
Clock moving and 45 seconds left. We'll go with a more conventional description.
Got to.
The Monarchs undoubtedly will be just real happy to get into the
Yeah, they don't want to turn the ball over,
locker
just
room.
run the clock out.
I mean, just get out of here, you know.
If we try to throw it down the field or something, they may get intercepted, and we've seen weird things happen on interceptions.
Well, Jones will put it up in the air, gets the pass completed at the 49-yard line for a short gain. It was Darnell Cheever on the receiving end. And unless one of the two teams decides to call a timeout, that would be the final play of the first half, as the clock will expire. So we've played the first half of the ball game, and Hampton, with a must-win situation, have been up to the task as they lead 41-0 at halftime. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after this brief timeout.
Still nothing there.
Back here at Darling Stadium at halftime, it's all Hampton 41-0. Statistics will bear all of that out as well, as the Monarchs just 19 carries for 31 yards, 4 of 7 passing with 1 interception for 22 yards. Total offense 53 yards. Their leading rusher was Jason Clark with 8 carries for 22. 4 first downs, 2 fumbles, and they lost both of them, and they were penalized 3 times for a total of 15 yards. For the Crabbers, they were paced by Armando Muffin Curry. He had 8 carries for 137 yards in the first half. The Crabbers as a team had 16 carries for 220 yards. In passing, Hagens 2 of 5, no interceptions, threw 2 touchdowns, a total of 69 yards passing. I got to check with that on you, Bob, because the 1 touchdown was 69 yards.
We had another 10-yarder. There was a 10-yarder, wasn't there? About an 8-yarder?
No, that was right. 63 and 6. That's 69. There you go. A 63-yarder and a 6-yarder. Total of 69 yards on 2 catches. Total of 289 yards total offense for the Crabbers in the first half. Just 7 first downs because of the big play nature. The 87-yard run, the 64-yard run, and the 57-yard pass, and the 63-yard pass. 1 fumble, no lost fumbles, 2 penalties for a total of 20 yards, and the Crabbers again at halftime comfortably in front, 41-0.
You actually were disputing Bob Killen's statistics. Did I hear that? Just want to make sure.
No, Bob does a great job. We really appreciate Mr. Killen and his statistics. So what do you want to tell us there, Bob?
I want to talk about a player of the game. We will pick one from each one of these teams tonight, and that player will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving. They're located at Kickoff Road. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 723-6067. Dave Buckwalter is the owner. And the shirt comes from the Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, and they're located in Pocosin, and they can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment and uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner.
Get back over there and bring you back over here. Okay, Hampton will be receiving to start.
Crabbers will get the ball to start the second half.
I expect as we'll see a lot of liberal substitution for the Crabbers, both in the backfield and on the lines, offensively and defensively, the second half.
Looking across the field, the Monarchs, as you see them on your screen there, don't have a huge number of players on their squad. And a lot of the teams seem to have more than Menchville, although, as you said, Menchville has a very large enrollment.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that they don't have a bigger squad number-wise. But Mike Smith said there's some good athletes on that team, as there are in all the Peninsula District teams, but you got to get them out, you got to work them, and I think they're going to get better, just like Kickoff's going to get better. Got a new coach, new system, and I think it's all going to start falling into place for both of those teams in the future. Of course, they still have to play Phoebus and Hampton and Bethel and
Kickoff.
Well, Kickoff was one of the teams.
Yes. All right. First kickoff, and it's nailed right to the closest man to the ball.
It looks like, was that number 60?
Yeah, that's
Stephen Lee.
Stephen Lee, and he just grabbed that ball and fell to the ground. A 12-yard kick with no return, and the Crabbers will have it at their 48-yard line.
Lee says, well, I'm a lineman. I'm not a running back. I'm going to get the ball and go down. That way we know we got it.
Oh, it almost went through him. It was kicked right at him. He had no choice but to field it or be impaled by the ball, one of the two. So Zarif comes to the near side. Split backfield. Higgins has the ball batted down. Looked like number 55, that is Antonio Anderson, got a hand on it and batted it to the ground. Incomplete pass.
That looked like it was going to be a flanker screen to Zarif. Just never got going.
So much for the theory that the Crabbers would just stick to the ground. Again, same play, only this time they complete the pass. And it has a first down written all over it at the 35-yard line. So a gain on the play of 17. And a first down for the Crabbers at the Menchville 35-yard line. You watch the replay. That was the pass they tried that was batted down on the first attempt. On the draw play to Curry, and Curry gets to about the 32-yard line, gain of about 3.
Corey Spencer, number 22, was at the bottom of that tackle.
He was in on the last stop. He's been doing a pretty good job for the Menchville defense, and they've
well, he plays an inside linebacker, so he should get things that come through there.
Zoom's is a great place to go for good food. They have deli sandwiches, pastries, snacks, and hot foods. And of course,
hot foods
and Pepsi products. Zoom's with 5 convenient Hampton locations.
Can you drink a hot Pepsi?
I could go for one, I'll tell you. And looks like we got some movement on the left end there by the Crabbers. So one of the few mistakes they've made here in the ball game, illegal procedure, will cost them 5.
For your next printing job, give Gear Up Printing a call. Gear Up Printing is located.
We have a dead ball. False start.
That's Tommy Gear
on the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
8277.
Sure sounds like the Deep Creek Western Branch game was a real good one. Scoreless at the half, and some hard-fought yardage in that game. As you said, though, Bob, somebody will win and somebody will lose that game with overtime, if need be. Downfield, got a man open at the goal line. He can't hold on to it.
Well, that was Jeremy Southern, looked like number 81. And what happened is that ball was being thrown, it was drifting out of bounds, and I think he tried to keep inbounds and catch the ball at the same time and couldn't do it.
You may wonder, so well, why are they passing? Well, why not, but they have to look at this game as a preparation for the next game. They need to do all the things that they may want to try and achieve in the next game, which would be the playoff.
That's a good point.
I mean, it'd be easy just to put the subs in and run the ball, on the ground and wear out the clock. Third down and 11 for the Crabbers. Blitz coming for the Monarchs. Flags are down, and Gunter is also down back at the 47-yard line. But penalty flags on the play. Now, Menchville may have been prematurely across the line.
Well,
see how they uncall.
The two young men have made the tackle, Corey Spencer and number 55, Antonio Anderson, met in the backfield on that. That was kind of a flanker reverse or something that just never got going, and it's illegal procedure. So you're Menchville, you said, we'll take the play.
Love the play. It's 4th down and long.
We have illegal procedure on the offense.
20.
Penalties declined. 4th down.
So the Crabbers will bring on the kicking team. Higgins is the quarterback.
And don't be surprised if he doesn't kick it.
That's true.
Because he's also your quarterback.
Monarchs put on a pretty good rush, but he gets it away. It's a end over end, fielded at the 9-yard line, fumbled and then recovered, all in one motion by Keith Wolford. So the Monarchs will have it deep in their own territory, but they will have the ball 1st and 10 after the 53-yard punt. You saw the replay. You saw Wolford mishandle the ball and then alertly recover it.
Well, you know what it looks like they're doing, and they're mishandling that ball, is that they're trying to look to see where the Crabbers are coming from and take their eye off the ball.
Jason Booth tripped up.
I think he
back to the line of scrimmage.
I don't think anybody got him. I think he just lost his footing.
Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. They're locally owned and operated, and they service and install most brands. 24-hour service and never an overtime charge. Give them a call at 825-1416 or 850-5564.
They can help you with your heat, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a good time of the year to know the Stallion Brothers. Give them a call. Nothing happening there as the play was designed to go in the middle. Clark carrying the ball. He tried to bounce to the outside, and that cost him even more yardage.
Well, that brings up, what, 4th down?
Not quite yet.
Third down, I'm sorry.
3rd down and about 12. Ball is just across the 8-yard line for the Monarchs. Robert Jones, the senior signal caller. In motion is Jason Booth. So Jason Clark gets the ball across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. That'll be short of the first down by about 5 yards, and it'll bring on the kicking team, or 4 yards at least.
Gunter made a good tackle that time, Tim. Hit him right at the ankles.
Well, the fundamentals are something the Crabbers have always excelled at. The coaches stress the fundamentals, and they show up every game.
Well, we look like we got a return on.
Mayo with the long count. Not much of a rush, although Green almost got a hand on it. And then the ball will be downed just across the Menchville 40-yard line at the 39, or right at the 40, actually. So they'll give the ball to Hampton.
That looked like one of your 9-irons. That thing just stopped.
Stopped.
Of course, it went about as far as your
I was just going to say, it actually went further than most of my 9-irons.
Oh, well.
22 yards. I'll go for 22 yards on a 9-iron shot. That's pretty good. So just across the 40 at the 39 and a half, if you will. Crabbers will have it with a first down, leading 41-0. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and Bob Killen with the Channel 46 crew from chilly Darling Stadium. This is Almondo Muffin Curry, and Curry will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Good effort by the defense. Let me tell you something. Menchville could just phone it in, but they're still trying. They're still playing hard.
Yeah, you know, and that takes a lot of gumption for them to do that. We got a player down, and looked like he was, that's Corey Spencer. He looked like he was hurt earlier, and let's hope nothing serious.
Tanya Sykes has to get some airtime, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Remember the last time we did the Menchville game? She got airtime.
There she is. Get a good look at her. She's got the stocking hat on. While we're looking at her, WHCS Channel 46 welcomes you to the Math Zone, a live televised interactive call-in program for your students to get help with their math. Join Tyler Elementary School teacher Cassandra Hamilton and Davis Middle School teacher Sherry Martin. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So give them a call at 850-5426 and join the Math Zone.
Well, Corey Spencer is up, but will need some help off the field, so we're sorry to see that. And we're not sure whether he's going to need more help from off the field. Looks like they might get some of the bigger linemen on the other side there to give him a hand, as he is not doing real well right now. Hopefully he'll be back. Having a good game. He's been playing well.
Sunday night at 7 o'clock, Channel 46.
They'll actually have to carry him off. So I can see that. Loss on the play brings up second down and about 11 for the Crabbers. Clock has restarted with a little more than 6.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Higgins, and he feels the pressure, and he will be sacked all the way back at the 45-yard line.
Philip Isaac, number 23, just shot the gap.
Gerald Cheever in there along with Lawson.
Isaac plays an inside linebacker, and he just shot the gap.
So the Monarchs getting the small victories, if you will, here by stopping the Crabbers. They've stopped the running play before that, and now a huge loss on the play of 15 yards. So third down and a ton for the Crabbers.
Just 1 yard less than 26.
Just 1 yard less than 26. Picking right up on this, Bob. Might be one less Bob in the booth.
Well, I hate to see kill and go.
Statistically speaking, right?
Yeah.
Higgins wants to throw, got a man, but he had to come back to the ball. Contact, but no flag.
That was a good no call.
It wasn't a good no call. If that ball had been thrown the distance it needed to be, he was open, but he had to stop and come back to the ball because it was underthrown. And that's a pretty fair breeze out there tonight, so that might have been a factor.
That's Alexander Mann again. Runs a nice pattern.
Got 2 touchdowns already in the ball game. So that brings up 4th down and 1 yard less than 26. Clock stopped with 5:34 remaining in the third quarter. Now Mann will get out there as the 11th player on the kicking team. Had to run a long ways back from that incomplete pass. Higgins' punt is a high one, not particularly long, and it'll take a Menchville bounce at about the 29-yard line. So the Monarchs will have it there with 5:25 remaining in the third quarter. Hampton 41 and Menchville nothing.
Academics play a key role in the NCAA clearinghouse procedure. Certain criteria must be met by your son or daughter in order to participate in athletics at the higher level. For additional information, please contact your guidance counselor, coach, or athletic director.
When you're through, right? That was it.
That was it.
Right. Did you say Washington scored? Redskins, did you score?
Jones being chased by Green, and Green gets him back to the 15-yard line.
What speed does Jared Green show?
So Jones, and you know the defense said you guys did that to our quarterback, we're going to do it to your quarterback. A 14-yard loss. Back to the 15-yard line. The Monarchs need to get all the way out to the 39-yard line for the first down. Second down and about 24, almost 25.
Wow, number 8 ran into a stone wall.
Jason Clark. And again, Jared Green on the stop. Gee, we haven't called his name at all tonight, have we? Now we're told that game between Western Branch and Deep Creek is scoreless at the end of 3. Wow. Talk about a battle. Third down and long. Jones feels the pressure, steps up. Now grab from behind. The ball comes loose. The Monarchs get it back.
Guess who it was?
Down. You got
Jared
it.
Green.
Jared Green, number 75, and on the tackle to cause the fumble. So at the 14-yard line, the Monarchs will have to kick it away. You see a good look at Mike Smith as he looks over the field. You know, he's got that same look whether they're ahead 41-0 or 14-0. It's always in the game.
Hey, stay up there.
I thought you was going to say 4-0.
Don't have it. Well, we could have it 4-0, but it's not easy. Mayo's punt is fielded at the 40-yard line by Zarif, trying to set up a return on the left side. Cuts inside of a blocker and will be brought down after a short return to about the 38-yard line.
Well, he got back to where Menchville had to go to get a first down.
Yep. So the Crabbers take over with 2:46 left in the third. Watch your replay here. This isn't the punt. This must have been the sack.
That's Jared Green coming from back of the backfield to tackle the quarterback and knock the ball loose.
And Higgins is again stopped for a loss. So the defense for Menchville has played tough here in the third quarter.
Well, Hampton may be trying some different plays out also. You don't know, but you're right. You don't take anything away from the Menchville Monarch defense. They're doing a good job.
Loss is back to the 42-yard line, so even though it appeared he was thrown for a much longer loss.
Western Branch, 0.
Clock moving with 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the third. Second down and 15. Into the middle of the pack.
Is that Mac Jones?
That's Mac Jones.
Boy, he took a bunch of people with him.
Gained about 10. Now we got an injured player for Menchville hobbling off the field. That is how do you pronounce that? DeWaven
Clayton, yes.
Clanton. DeWaven Clanton.
He met Wyatt Earp at the OK Corral.
I think he did. The Clanton brothers. It was a bad scene. Third down and 5 for the Crabbers. And now the timeout called by the Crabbers as they were going for the hard count to try and draw the Monarchs off and almost succeeded. All right, 50-50 raffle. The announcement on the air here.
Number is 046 030. 046 030. You have that number?
I guess by the
I didn't win.
I guess you never had a chance. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but we had a contribution to a good cause. So,
50-50 draw is 046 030.
and there's no winner. Call another number. Third down and 5. The Crabbers have stopped the clock with 1:07 left in the third to discuss this third down and 5 play. Hampton Chevrolet is a locally owned business and strongly believes in supporting the community which they serve. Hampton Chevrolet urges you to get involved with your students' school PTA. 1073 West Mercury Boulevard, Hampton Chevrolet. Third down and 5, ball at the 32-yard line. On the quarterback keeper, Higgins has the first down and plenty more. Runs into his own man and will finally be dragged down at about the 10-yard line.
He made a nice spin move, and when he did, he ran it, and his own player was blocking for him.
So the Crabbers, the ball now just inside the 10.
Western Branch missed a field goal. Both teams missed field goal.
So we are told that game between Western Branch and Deep Creek continues to be scoreless. Both teams unable to put points on the board. First and goal for the Crabbers inside the 10. Higgins, and he is stopped after a gain of a half yard. Interesting looking play. Looked like he was trying to do a quarterback draw, but the hole wasn't there, and he just was stopped after a short gain.
Yeah, that was number 37, Darnell Cheever, one of the two Cheever brothers. One's a junior, one's a senior.
Oh, did he? I got two. Alex got one. I got two.
Second and goal at the 9. Crabbers will be able to get this last play off here in the third quarter. Higgins will keep it, and he will score. Marcus Higgins with his third touchdown of the ball game.
As the quarter ends.
So on the last play of the third quarter.
Well, Marcus did a good job of faking the handoff right up the middle and then just took it around the end himself.
Alan Johnson will try to make it 48-0. And his kick is up, and his kick is good. So as the third quarter comes to an end, the Crabbers score. That's just their first score of the second half. The Monarchs defense did a good job for the better part of the third quarter, but a little too much Hampton Crabbers there, and it's now 48-0. Marcus Higgins with his third touchdown of the ball game. He's got a 64-yarder, a 1-yarder, and now a 9-yard run. The Crabbers making sure there's no mystery about this game. Lead comfortably 48-zip. You get all of our commercials in that last quarter, Bob? Looks, we did talk about Zooms and Stallion Brothers and talked about Gear Up Printing, Hampton Chevrolet.
I think that's it.
Johnson, who has gotten a workout tonight between his kickoffs and extra points, will tee it up as we get set for the start of the fourth quarter. I'll tell you, that great Deep Creek and Western Branch game must have been something, or still is something. They're scoreless going in the fourth quarter. A knuckleball kick taken at the 29-yard line and almost immediately stopped. In fact, no return on the play.
Looks like it was the number 24 for the Crabbers. Got a good hit in. Trevor Booth. You're on those special teams and you can get down and make a good hit. Boy, it makes you feel good.
So the Monarchs get the ball at their 29-yard line. I guarantee with this Deep Creek and Western Branch, there's a lot of people holding their breath.
It's a defensive struggle over there, it sounds like.
Well, you know, there's so many ramifications of a loss or a win by either one of those teams.
Orlando Robinson making the tackle, Jason Clark.
Jason Clark gets the handoff for the Monarchs, picks up a couple of yards.
Well, Deep Creek wins. I mean, it will help Bethel, and if Western Branch win, it'll help Heritage. Right. And it could help and hurt Hampton and where they are ranked in the four teams in the district or in the regional. Interesting.
Second down and about 7 for the Monarchs. To the near side comes Jason Booth and a late flag. I'm going to say that he was out of bounds when he was hit apparently, and that will cost the Crabbers some yardage.
Booth forced out of bounds. That is a terrible.
Yeah, I think so.
Personal foul on the Crabbers.
So they ruled that Booth was out of bounds when the hit occurred, and that'll cost the Crabbers 15 from the spot where Booth was driven out of bounds.
We have a dead ball, personal foul on the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run. It results in a first down.
If you can make your own decision as to whether he was clearly out of bounds when the hit occurred. Oh, I don't know. He was in the grasp when he went out of bounds. I mean, well, marginal. Could call it either way, I guess. They chose to protect the ball player and called a personal foul. So the Monarchs with a first down at their 48-yard line and bursting up the middle all the way down to the 35-yard line, but a fumble.
Well, they're saying it was down, I believe. I think he's saying it was down.
Jason Booth with the big gain, and it's still Menchville ball, so they've got it at the Hampton 36-yard line. So the Monarchs get a break there. Crabbers have had the Crabbers had gotten several breaks of that nature. And this time the officials ruled the Menchville player down, so no fumble. And the Monarchs keep the drive alive at the Hampton 36.
Jason Clark, the ball carrier.
Clark, the ball carrier for a couple. We're going to return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of tonight's ball game after this brief timeout. Booth again gets the call, and he gets to the 30. Gain of about 3.
Gunter and Green in on the stop that time.
The role of the parent is paramount in the education process, and Hampton Chevrolet encourages parents to get involved. Join your student's school PTA. Got an equipment problem as the officials are attending to that. Stallion Brothers. Yes, that's right. Heating. Don't even bother to mention the word cooling, but they are with heating and cooling. Locally owned and operated, and they service and install most brands. Stallion Brothers, 24-hour service, never an overtime charge. Give them a call at 825-1416 or 850-5564. Ball is marked at the 30-yard line. It's 3rd down and almost 4 for the Monarchs. On the play action, Jones still has the ball, needs to get the yardage, will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Man in on the stop. That's Raymond Mann for the Crabbers. Or was that Keith Mann?
That was the hit man.
Keith Mann. I heard a man.
It was a man. Gear Up Printing is the place to go for your next printing job. Give Tom Gear a call at Gear Up Printing. They're located at 1909 North Armstead Avenue. The phone number is
827-8277.
I caught you in the middle of something.
It was my exuberance over this game. I was speechless. Fumble and a ball scramble for it. Crabbers say they've got it, not officially yet, but let's wait and see. Yeah, it had been 4th down, it wouldn't have mattered, would it? So they either have it or they haven't. And I think they have it, Bob.
I think they've got it. Zooms has given an award to the senior football player on each one of the Hampton school teams this year that has shown and demonstrated academic excellence. We've already talked about the Phoebus ball player, Mike Brown, the Kickoff ball player, Jason Young, and the Bethel ball player, Rodney Johnson. And we want to congratulate Alden Landry, number 63, for the Hampton Crabbers.
What's his GPA, Bob?
4.33.
Wow, that's terrific.
They will receive a plaque. Those 4 gentlemen. This is a plaque for donated by the Zooms and, of course, produced by Buckwalter Engraving for students that shown outstanding academic excellence.
So the Crabbers have the ball, and the Monarch defense stops them cold. 2nd down and 10 after no gain. Marcus Hagens, the ball carrier for the Crabbers. 7:15 left in the ball game. At the Hampton 35-yard line. On the draw play to Curry. Picks up 5. So you talked about the Zooms special award, right?
That's
great. I tell you, those academic honors are fantastic.
And Tim, you love to look at these awards. They're really neat. They've got the high school on it, whether it's Hampton, Phoebus, Kickoff, or Bethel. It shows the football player with the number of that particular ball player, player's number. And of course it says Zooms presents for outstanding academic excellence.
That's great. That's a great idea on the part of David Allen.
David Allen, yes. And there we go.
Is
And
that
I think Muffin is going to add to his yardage.
And he's going to probably end up with the Peninsula rushing title with that run. If there was enough yardage, that was a 55.
No, a little more than that, about 55. 60.
59.
59.
59?
I thought he started
60.
from the 40.
It was 60, you're right.
60-yarder.
How many did he need, Bob?
He needed 45, he just got 61.
So now he is the leader. Now there's still a game to be played Saturday, so I think one other player had a shot at it, but they'd have to have an incredible game in order to get it. Johnson's kick is good. It drifted back in. So 54-0. The Crabbers with exactly 6 minutes. No seconds on either side of that. Here's your replay. Curry just broke into the open, and it was a foot race. And he won the foot race between himself and Darrell Cheever to the end zone. So Muffin Curry has 3 touchdown runs tonight. One of 61, one of 87, and one of 15. Not a bad night.
No, it sure wasn't. Again, let me tell you again about this academic award being given by David Allen in Zooms. Mike Brown, number 68 of Phoebus. Jason Young, number 15 of Kickotan. Rodney Johnson, number 86 of Bethel. And Alden Landry, number 63 of Hampton High. Congratulations, those 4 young men.
Muffin Curry, 12 carries for 207 and 3 touchdowns tonight. Well, we were talking about it, heard Bob talking about the fact he needed about 50 yards, just one long run, and he could have taken that rushing lead, and sure enough, 64 yards later, he did just that. So the Menchville Monarchs will start from their 30 with 5:55 left in the ball game, 54-0, and the Crabbers coasting to their 9th victory.
Try 55.
Did I say 54?
You did. 55 and how much time?
5:54. Clock is moving.
It was 5:55. Those guys down there on your side, they started moving that clock.
Someone needs to be. I need help. I need all the help I can get. From the 30, the Monarchs. Not much happening there. Maybe a yard.
Matt Jones and Anthony Ware. Making the tackle.
I believe that was number 36, Lee Leggett, carrying the ball. Just a little guy. I love to see the little guys in there. You know, it goes to show you don't have to be a behemoth to play this game. He's 5'3", 130 pounds.
5'3". He probably run underneath.
Number 36.
Big guys.
Out of the tailback position. And off to the fullback, and nothing happening there as Jason Clark is stopped in his tracks. So the Monarchs now, the clock moving, and we're down less than 5 minutes. We'll be real anxious just to get this one over with and get on the nice warm bus back to the high school. Crabbers will extend their win streak to 9. And they'll be set to play either here at Darling next week or across the water, probably against Deep Creek. I tell you, Deep Creek having such a tough game tonight, if they hold on for the victory, that could be a telling factor, that emotional exhaustion that they're going to suffer as a result of this game with Western Branch.
You got a good point there. Well, it's going to be tough picking the player of the game tonight. I tell you, Gunter's had a good game. All 3 of the mans.
Yeah.
You go right down the list. Darrell Cooper, Jeremy Southern, Muffin, Marcus Hagens throwing the ball well, run the ball well. But I tell you, I'm going to pick the Hampton Crabber player of the game tonight, and I'm going to give it to 2 defensive ball players. We don't do this often.
Break the rules,
we do.
huh?
Raymond Mann and Jared Green. Raymond Mann showing so much determination to lead a block and on a long run by Curry. And Jarrett Green just being all over the defense. Both of them just did a super job. So that's the player of the game for the Hampton Crabbers tonight.
And Muffin Curry had a 75-yard return earlier, short of a touchdown. This one will not be short of a touchdown. This will be a touchdown.
And again, Raymond Mann throwing a block.
But we've got penalty flags down at the point of the kick. The line of scrimmage is what I'm trying to say. So whether or not, if they're against Hampton, obviously they'll decline them.
We have illegal procedure on the offense. Penalty declined. Touchdown.
Touchdown will score the 4th of the night for Muffin Curry. Had a 75-yard return earlier that was returned to the 10.
Tim, if they watch this on replay, and you'll see who throws the last block for him to get in. Again, Raymond Mann. What a hustle that young man shown tonight.
Well, the Crabbers, with their highest total on the boards of the season, or at least let me double check that as I have some statistics. Yep, their biggest score of the year was 49 points. Here's your replay of the punt. Didn't see any illegal procedure. They must not have had enough men on the line of scrimmage or something. They fielded that at the 44-yard line. That'll be a 56-yarder.
Man threw a great block there. Look at big 77.
Yep.
I mean, he does an awesome job. Curry ought to take him out to lunch.
Done it all tonight. He's got 3 runs. Hasn't caught a pass for a touchdown yet, but it's still got 3:14 to go. And I'm going to pick and it's not an easy choice. They had some good effort on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball for Menchville. You wouldn't think so with the score like it is, but they really played with a lot of heart. And I'm going to give it, my choice is going to be for Wolford.
Keith Wolford.
Yeah, he's done a good job on kick returns and just hung in there. Showed a lot of guts and never gave up. So the Monarchs get it back once again. The kickoff return rather by Marcus Hickman. And the Monarchs will start from their 34, trailing by 62-0. 31-yard kick and a 4-yard return for the Monarchs. So next week we will be here at Darling Stadium for a game. The opponents to be determined.
Well, one of the opponents probably will be Phoebus, but again, that's not a given. We want to thank Buckwalter Engraving and Island Hardware and Sporting Goods for allowing us to pick the player of the game tonight.
Booth carries for a couple. Crabbers led 41-0 at the half and have tacked on another 21 points here in the second half to blow this one wide open. Booth again gets the call. And he's across the 40 to about the 41.
Watch it, 87.
Down to 1:47 in the ball game. Hampton will go to 9-1. The Monarchs 2-7.
They didn't play outside opponent this year?
That's what I was trying to determine.
I don't think that, because that's got to be the new coach come in, maybe didn't have a chance to pick up an outside opponent.
Nope, all of their opponents were Peninsula District foes.
Well, I asked Mike Smith if this game that they had with Northeastern down in Elizabeth City was a two-year deal, and he said no, it's just a 1-year deal. and that maybe the BHSL is going to do regional scheduling for him. He says already got a couple calls for next year. So,
well, it's really tough, you know. I mean, if you've got a really good team, no one's going to want to play you. And you've got 10 teams in the Peninsula District. You can only play each one of them once. So you've got a 9-game schedule, and it's really a disadvantage. Got a first down for the Monarchs at the 45-yard line. We're down to 50 seconds and moving. And again, that Hampton defense is pursuing as if it was the first quarter and they were scoreless.
They sure are.
So just a couple more plays, and this one will be history, and the Crabbers will win the game 62-0, barring a big play here by the Monarchs.
Well, if you want to say something a little positive, the Menchville is not getting beat as bad as teams were beat last year that were in the state championship. In the let's
try and find a positive here. And Booth will get the pitch to run the time off the clock, and the Monarchs are on the wrong end of a 62-0 score. Well, tonight's contest has been brought to you through the underwriting of the following: Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton. By Zooms with 5 convenient Hampton locations. By Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
And in part by Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the funeral director. Well, Bob, that's going to do it. Our regular season comes to an end. Hampton was our victor, 62-0. They will be probably playing at Deep Creek next week. I understand the final score, Deep Creek won that game 7-0 in quite a battle between themselves and Western Branch. Final score again, Hampton 62, Menchville 0. For Bob Hintz and Bob Killen and the entire Channel 46 crew, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
girls up there with dance to Janet Jackson's Summertime Kids Together Again. They're going to start with a few guns fast.
I was looking at it.
Menchville, the game's not going quite like you thought. You're going to lose this one, but you know what? It ain't our fault.
We need a hat.
You have just been entertained by the fine of the Peninsula Crabber Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Rick Allison, led by drummer Roger and Banks. Dion Peters and Jermaine.